Tonight, the witch cult of incessant rage prepare to face off against the Astra Militarum, led by the three succubi triplets, Anna, Dolly, and Kitty, each one armed differently and with different combat drugs. Starting with the warlord, Anna, armed with a blast pistol and Painbringer for +1 toughness. Her warlord trait will be a 6+ save to all wounds taken. On the left, you have Dolly, armed with an agonizer and Hypex for +2 move. And on the right, Kitty, armed with an Impaler and combat drug Grave Lotus for +1 strength. Supported by 3 units of witches, 1 unit of 10. Their combat drug is Splinter Mine, giving them +2 leadership. And you have 2 Hydra gauntlets in there. The Hecatrix armed with a blast pistol and an agonizer. 9 witches on the right. These giving Grave Lotus for +1 strength. The Hecatrix armed with the blast pistol and agonizer, and then 1 witch armed with the razor flail with the gauntlets, Hydra gauntlets. And then a unit of 5 in the back. Their combat drug is Serpentine for +1 weapon skill. The Hecatrix armed with power sword, and then you have the razor flails for the witch weapon. They are supported by 3 dedicated transports, 2 raiders, and 1 Venom. On the left, 2 units of Reaver bikes, both given +1 attack, and both equipped with 1 blaster in each unit. Behind them, 10 Hellions, +1 toughness for their combat drug. And then 5 Scourges, 2 armed with blasters, and their leader armed with a power spear and a blast pistol. On the right, 2 more units of Reavers, these given +2 to their move, and armed with heat lances. Behind them, 10 more Hellions, again with +1 strength. And finally, 5 more Scourges, 2 armed with the dreaded weapon of the Dark Lance. Altogether, 1,850 points, organized into a battalion and an outrider detachment for a total of 7 command points, ready to bring the pain to the Astra Militarum.
Alright, good evening all. Jake here again on the War Corgi channel, ready for another fun and exciting game. And I'm going to start out with, I have a brigade detachment. It's 9 command points. You've seen most of this on the channel before if you watched our last game. I'm going to start out with my HQ choice. I have a company commander here. He's WYSIWYG, plasma sword, and plasma pistol. Next command choice is my Tempestor Prime model. It's a stand-in, but he has a Tempestus command rod and a chainsword. Then I have a Primaris Psyker. And the Primaris Psyker has Gaze of the Emperor and Psychic Barrier. And then we'll go into my troop choices. I have 6 troop choices as per standard for a brigade. I have 20 conscripts, these guys right here with the white shoulder pads. And then I have 3 infantry squads, each with a heavy bolter, each with a Voxcaster, 2 with heavy flamers, 1 with grenade launcher. All the sergeants have las pistols and chainswords.
Is that a flamer or a heavy flamer?
Flamers.
Okay.
Flamers each. I apologize if I misspoke.
No, heavy flamers eat Dark Eldar, that's why I was concerned.
Oh, there's heavy flamers in the thing, Mike. You know, there's a few out there.
Yeah.
The next 2 troop choices are my 2 squads of Casterton Stormtroopers. Both squads are the same, with power swords and the sergeants. And 2 plasma guns each per 5-man squad. That rounds out all my troop choices. For my elites, we have a Commissar here with his bolt pistol. We have Nork Ned Dog. We have our Dead Dog. He's going to pay me for that one later on. The platoon commander with the power fist and the las pistol. The Vindicare Assassin and the Astropath. The Astropath's power is psychic barrier. Then we'll go on into the veteran squads, 3 more elite choices. Each veteran squad has a Voxcaster. This veteran squad has a flamer and 2 melta-guns. This veteran squad has a heavy flamer, melta-gun, and a flamer. This veteran squad has a flamer, plasma gun, and melta-gun. For this veteran squad right here, at the back end, the sergeant is equipped with a chainsword and las pistol. This sergeant right here is a power sword and las pistol. And this guy right here is a chainsword and las pistol. Then we go into fast attack choices. I have 3 armored sentinels, each a separate unit, making up my 3 fast attack choices, each of them with las cannons. Then for my heavy support choices, I have an autocannon squad, a missile launcher squad, a las cannon squad, and a mortar squad. Then I have 3 chimeras, 1 with a heavy bolter, 2 with heavy flamers. They all have multi-lasers, and they have the las guns arrays. There is no, this is not here, Mike, that cracked missile
Okay.
right there, just so you know. I might try to cheat that later on.
Okay.
So, one past you, just so you know. And then I have a fortification as well. I think it's defense line with the quad gun. Pretty tasty against those flyers. Heavy 8.
So all in all, you got a brigade here, which is going to net you 12 command points. Should note that we're using the Index Astra Militarum list, as we're almost on the eve of the release of the Codex, so we're looking forward to that. So we'll be back with mission setup and the table. Okay, the deployment style for tonight's game is Search and Destroy, which is table quarters. And the mission is Secure and Control. Secure and Control, each player draws 3 tactical objectives, and you'll be trying to secure some of these objectives. We have 6 here, 5 here, 4 is right in the middle, 3, 1, and 2 is tucked into that building back there. So right now the Eldar have really pushed forward straight up to the 9-inch line from the center of the board. We got the Raiders, we got the bikes behind them. They're supported by the Hellions. Another group of Hellions in the woods here, where you see some light woods in the middle of the board. It's really going to help out the infantry. Vehicles are going to have a little tougher time getting 50% obscured. Jake has deployed his meat shields forward, starting with the conscript squad, and then some regular infantry. He's got some units in his chimeras, some sentinels scattered about for some fire support, and a lot of his heavy support teams are in the buildings, in the ruins, up and down the various floors, ready to take on the Dark Eldar. So at this point, Jake, we're going to roll for a mission, to see who goes first. Dark Eldar deployed first, so they get +1 to their roll. They roll a 4. Jake rolls a 1. So, right now Dark Eldar are going first. Would you care to try to seize the initiative?
I will try to seize the initiative.
Needing a 6. That is a 6. Oh no! So, power level 9,000 and the Imperial Guard. No shortage of targets to acquire now. The Dark Eldar hopefully will be able to weather the storm that's about to come and then move forward. We will see what happens as we go to Jake's turn 1. Just a quick update, everyone. This is a Maelstrom of War mission, Spoils of War. I misspoke. So we're going to let Jake re-roll to seize the initiative. No, we're going to let him keep the initiative and see what happens. So Spoils of War coming up next. Jake and his Imperial Guard have drawn Area Denial, which is 1 victory point if no enemy models are within 6 inches of the center. And that's pretty much a given at the start of this mission. Secure Objective 2, and then Mission Critical Objective number 3. Just to review, Secure Objective 2 is in this building. Objective number 3 is right over there. So, good draw for Jake. It looks like he's going to score a minimum of 3 points. Probably going to get first blood as well, so that might be a total of 4 to start off the game. Strong start.
For my movement phase, the first thing I did was this armored sentinel over here at the Lost Cannon. He moved up to the edge of this building. Other movement going on here is this scout sentinel. He moved up through the tree line, not falling over like those ATSTs.
There's
a tree. This guy right here, he advanced. There's a veteran squad inside here. And that's the end of the movement phase.
On to Guard Psychic phase.
Right, the first mutant freak here, the astropath down here, he's about set to be executed because he can't even do what he's supposed to do and get off his psychic power. He attempted psychic barrier on the lost cannons and rolled a double 1.
Oh, so he parried.
He did peril.
Let's see how many wounds that does. Well, you do have 12 command dice. Command points. If you want to use one of those to reroll one of those ones.
Let's reroll one of those ones and watch me roll one again, because that's what I do.
No, it's a 6.
6.
So that's total 7. Does that mean it gets off?
That means it goes off.
Okay, so you're
Plus
down to
1.
11 points, but they are plus 1 of their saves, so 3 up in cover and in sorcery. So execution stayed, but the cost of a command point. Imperial Guard shooting next.
Alright, here we go. Shooting phase. Turn 1 for Imperial Guard. Pretty good all in all. First thing we start with our orders. Our platoon commander muscled away in this little bunker right here. Gave an order to autocannons take the extra hits. Plus 1 to reroll on the rolls of 1. And they shot at the
Raider.
bikes. The Raider? No, the bike
I'm
squad.
sorry, the bikes, yep.
Shot the bike squad, inflicting 3 wounds on them. Next set of orders from the company commander to the Las cannons, shot at the Raider, causing 3 wounds, causing 3 damages, only rolling a 2 and 1 ones for 4 wounds. Same thing to the missile launcher squads with crack grenades, and they brought down 4 more wounds, correct? It's a 10 wound model. Then skipped over to here, to Las cannon guy. He shot, he hit, and of course Mike, he rolls those invulse saves and everything like that. Then came over here to my conscripts, and they were able to shoot down and kill another biker. Then up here to the Chimera, the Blazgun arrays took out the last biker, and then the multi-laser shot at these women over here. I think you saved your wound on that, correct?
Yeah, they made a bunch of saves. You also used that quad gun to shoot at them.
The quad gun as well. And then the mortars, they shot at this squad right here. I think only killing 1.
Correct.
And up here to the Vindicare Assassin, he was able to take out the last 2 wounds off the Raider.
2 girls died getting out of the Raider.
Yep. Over here, this guy caused no hits. This guy caused no hits. This guy did not shoot because he advanced.
So all in all, Jake gets first blood. I assume there's no assaults, correct, Jake?
There is no assaults, and I have all 3 of my objectives.
All right, well, so we'll review those in a second. As far as morale, that F right there means that they have Splinter Mind, which gives them plus 2 leadership for leadership at 10, so even with 2 casualties, they can't fail. And the Hellions have a leadership of 7. They lost 1, so they are good, and that bike squad is dead, so obviously no morale test there. So we'll look at Jake's objectives next.
I scored again 1 for first blood. I scored mission critical. I held the objective 3, which I rolled for. I did not take over an objective held by somebody else, so I didn't get a roll of D3. I secured objective 2 for 1 victory point. In area denial, Mike could not get within 6 inches of the center of the board. Kind of cheesy when you had to start 9 inches away, but it worked for me, and I'll take it.
Take it. All right, back up with Dark Eldar, turn 1. Dark Eldar, turn 1, objectives, area denial. You should be familiar with that after Jake scored it. Defend objective 2, which Jake is currently holding in the central ruins. And then no prisoners. 1 point for destroying 1 enemy unit on my turn. D3 if I destroy between 3 and 5. And if I can destroy 6 units, I get a whole bunch of victory points. So, Dark Eldar coming up with movement next. The Witch Cult of Incessant Rage got back-footed when the Imperial Guard, Cadian Regiment, stole the initiative, but they've recovered nicely. Starting up, the Hellions moved out of these woods, moving forward their 14 inches, being led by the Venom, who moved 16 inches straight forward towards the enemy in objective number 2, also that quad cannon. The unit of Hellions that was back here has moved forward into the woods. They're 9 instead of the 10 they started with, while the sisters who were blown out of their transport have moved forward bravely and are nearing the enemy lines. This bike squad with the Heat Lance moved its 18 inches with the +2 movement drug and are right there, while this succubus, who had the +2 movement, advanced rolling a 6. She is right in the lines as well. Unfortunately, won't be able to attack this turn, but in future turns, she's well positioned. Her sister trailing behind shortly, a few inches behind. Over on the left, move the bikes out of cover, looking towards Jake's left. And then lastly, at the end of the turn, I brought 1 unit of Scourges in over here. This is the ones with the Dark Lances. And over in the far corner, you see the Batmen and women lined up against that Sentinel in order to bring down some revenge. So, next, Dark Eldar shooting phase, turn 1. Dark Eldar turn 1 shooting started with the Scourges that came in over there, laying down some blaster fire on that Sentinel, doing how many wounds, Jake?
3.
3 wounds. 1 hit and did 3 wounds. The other one missed or failed to wound. Over here, these Sentinels did some really good work, putting 4 wounds onto the heavy weapon squad there with the autocannons, and then the Venom came in and finished them off, throwing 10 shots in with the heavy splinter cannon and the twin splinter rifle. Moving over, these witches weren't really in range to do much, but these Hellions were firing into the conscript squad, killing 4 of them, while these bikes combined fire to kill the 10-man squad that was over here, to include the heavy weapons, and also that mortar squad. Most of their blaster fire was ineffective, save for this squad's blaster right here. Managed to go ahead and put 2 wounds on that Sentinel. And then we managed to do 4 wounds on that Chimera. And I think that was with, no it wasn't. So these lances right here, I think that's what did most of the wounds to the Chimera. I think it did 2 damage. But that Chimera remains untouched. Overall, a pretty good round of shooting for the Dark Eldar. We'll go into the charges next. I am 1 unit away from getting the D3 points for my objective. So we will try to get no prisoners. It's going to be tough because that commissar right there is going to prevent me from doing too much. But we're going to try and then maybe make some of them run away. So we'll be back with the Dark Eldar Assault, turn 1. Dark Eldar Assault Phase 1, mixed success as this raider tried to charge into the Primaris Psyker and the conscript squad, but did not roll high enough to get into the Psykers. The bikes tried to do the same, but again, failure to roll high enough to get to the Psyker. They were going to fly over those conscripts. But good news is the witches did make it in. They needed a 7-inch charge. They charged out of terrain, so it was -2, and they managed to get that and pile in. Last thing I tried to charge with was this Venom into that cowardly platoon leader back there, but failed. In combat, the witches did most of the damage here. In total, we killed 4. I think it was all by the witches, as a matter of fact. They did pretty well. So Jake owes a leadership test.
So the conscripts are leadership 4.
That's not very good.
The Commissar's leadership 8, and Astra Militarum units within 6 inches of the Commissar can use his leadership instead. So I have 12 conscripts there, and the Commissar's leadership is 8, and I'm rolling 1 die,
Yep.
and I passed my leadership test with a 1.
Well, you lost 8 total in the round, so you
So,
still failed
lost 1.
by 1.
Lost 1, yeah. My mistake.
Yeah. So that was kind of a foregone conclusion. The Commissar was going to pop one guy, and there he goes. So took out half the conscript squad this turn. Overall, Dark Eldar not in a bad position. We'll go back over the cards that we scored and did not score here in a second. Dark Eldar in turn 1 came very close to scoring D3 for no prisoners, but instead get 1 point for no prisoners and 1 point for area denial. Overall, a good turn. Defend objective 2. We're going to go ahead and keep that one because we're on the verge of taking it. And we'll be back with Jake's turn 2 here in a second.
Alright, Imperial Guard turn 2. I've drawn my technical objective cards. I have Assassinate, which score 1 victory point for assassinating enemy character, or a D3 if I assassinate 3 enemy characters.
Good luck.
Advance, which is all my models out of a deployment zone, not going to happen. And Secure Objective 1, which I'm on.
All right, on to movement.
Alright, Imperial Guard turn 2, movement phase. Well, as you can see, I was able to successfully disengage out of combat 1 inch away with the conscripts. And Michael had to spend a command point. He still lost. It was a 3 to a 1, and he re-rolled and made a 2 for the Emperor.
Down to 5 command points for the Dark Eldar.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of trouble in the middle.
This Sentinel stayed put. The Chimera stayed put. The platoon commander moved 4 inches away from the objective, but on next to the quad gun right here. North Ned Dog, the Commissar, and the Premier Psyker scuffled around. Everything back here stayed put. The Chimera moved up, I believe about 6 to 7 inches. This Sentinel stayed still. Before this Chimera moved, it disembarked this veteran squad right here with the Flamer, 2 Melt-A-Guns. And this veteran squad disembarked from this Chimera with the Heavy Flamer, and Melt-A-Gun. And then I deep struck these Castrican Stormtroopers in the back lines 9 inches away from this squad here and the Castrican Prime. And then over here, Objective 5, the other Stormtrooper squad jumped in.
We seem to be surrounded, just like we like it. All right, Psychic Phase, turn 2, Imperial Guard.
Alright, Psychic Phase for Imperial Guard. The Astropath here casts Smite to no effect on the Raider. And an interesting thing with the Astropath, at the start of the shooting phase, which will begin here shortly, I'll pick an enemy unit within 18 inches of this model. For the duration of the phase, the unit you pick gains no bonus to their saving throws for being in cover when it is targeted by attacks made by friendly Astra Militarum units within 6 inches of this model. The unit I chose were the Reavers.
Yep, Reaver
Reaver
Jetbikes.
squad right there. So any unit within 6 inches shooting at those guys, they don't get +1 to their save for being behind that cover right there. And then the Primera Psyker casted Smite on the Raider, causing it 1 wound, rolling a big fat 1 for Sheik of Thirst.
So it is down to 8. It did take 1 wound to Overwatching last guns, unfortunately. But still plenty of wounds left. We'll see what happens here. So we move on to Imperial Guard. Shooting, turn 2.
Right, Imperial Guard, shooting and a charge sequence. Apologize for that, but we got a little bit too excited here. Anyway, first thing is orders. This guy gave them the order to reroll failed 1s to hit. The Castrican Stormtroopers overcharged their plasma guns and successfully killed some of these guys, as well as the Hell Guns Eddie Fire, taking this squad down from 4 down to 1.
Just Solar right left.
Yep. From over here, the Las cannons were able to knock out the raider. And they were given the order by the company commander to reroll ones to hit. And then same thing to the missile launchers who shot frag missiles at these guys, correct?
Yeah, killing 2.
Killing 2. Then this guy did nothing against him. The flat gun took 2 wounds off of this guy.
Yeah, that was my venom right there.
Yep. The mortars shot and killed 2 of the squad of Wicks accompanying the commander. These guys basically hosed down all these chicks right here. I believe it was this sentinel right here who killed off her. This sentinel back here.
Yes.
This sentinel back here killed off the venom or viper?
Venom.
The venom. This guy I don't think did anything here.
No.
Yep. This guy flambéed and lasered this squad as well. This guy shot his bolt pistol at them. Nork didn't hit anything, but as you can see, gloriously charged. Psyker shot at her when she was by her lonesome, didn't do anything. He shot at her, didn't do anything. The Vindicator took one weapon off of her.
1 wound.
1 wound.
And you use a command point to reroll the number of wounds you did.
The squad in here shot a couple las guns here, killing a couple. The heavy bolter shot at the raider.
I think so, but
Didn't do
missed.
anything.
Yeah.
The grenade launcher shot at them, didn't do anything, and these guys shot at them and did some damage.
Okay.
Over here, this guy roasted and toasted and lasered some of these guys off. Did he?
Yeah, well, one of them.
And then these guys killed off 2 of them with their weapons fired. For the melta guns, I think did the most damage, and the shotguns did 1.
Yeah, the 3-up save for the Scourges and cover really helps them out.
And these guys shot as well at this squad here. I think they took 1 off maybe with the heavy bolter.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys back here, no, these guys back here are the ones that took off
An additional 2.
Additional 2 off this squad here, the Stormtrooper squad back here.
And plasmas, yeah.
And
Okay.
then, charges, as you can see, the first charge I did was the conscripts. They made it in successfully. I don't think we even lost anybody.
No.
They charged the leader, and the bikers, and then the Primera Psyker charged in, and then Nort charged in, and the Commissar was weak for the Emperor, did not make it.
Yeah, but made sure everyone else charged.
But made sure everyone else charged.
And then lastly, I think you attempted to charge over here, Jake.
Attempted to charge over here, lost 1 snuffy veteran to Overwatch.
Yeah, so all in all, it's been a good round for you so far. 2 squads of witches gone. Both my surviving vehicles no longer surviving. So we'll finish up the charge and come right back to you.
Here we go at the end of the assault phase for Imperial Guard. As you can see, Norton Ned Dog dealt out some damage, killing 2 of these guys right here. The Guardsmen, I don't think stripped any wounds off her, did they?
They got 1.
Got 1.
She's pissed.
And he got 2.
Yep.
Bringing her down to 2 wounds total.
Yep.
And you struck back with her, killing 2 of my dudes. Taking 3 wounds off my Primera Psyker, and your jet bikes took 2 of my conscripts down.
Yep. Fortunately, he's still within 6 inches of that Commissar, so at leadership 8, he does not need a morale check there. I do not need a morale check with this bike because she's leadership 8 and she's lost 2 models. I do need to make a number of other morale checks. Starting over here with the Scourges. I got it. Okay, so leadership 8 minus 4, so that's going to be
a 6.
A 6, so that is gone. These guys over here are only leadership 7. They lost 4 plus 3 is 7, so they're okay. And then the Scourges over there lost 3. 3 plus 4 is 7, so they are okay as well. So, but you did get this Scourge off. So we'll be back with Jake's points. Right.
Tactical objectives this turn. The only thing I was able to score was secure objective 1. I'm going to keep assassinate. I'm going to discard advance.
That should give you 5 points now, Jake.
Yes, it does.
In my 2. Alright, Dark Eldar turn 2. Coming up. Dark Eldar turn 2 objectives. We drew Witch Hunter, which I think I'll be able to score with his primary Psyker being engaged with my Succubi. Defend objective 2, which carried over from the last round, and the mission critical objective number 4, which is right in the center of the board. So, Dark Eldar movement coming on. Dark Eldar have completed their movement phase. They have moved these Hellions up away from the Scions and secured an objective 4 as the mission critical objective. These Hellions have kind of split up, still within coherency. Looking at both that particular Sentinel and that squad. These bikes jumped all the way from over here using their 16-inch movement beyond this melee in order to focus on those guys there. Lastly, the Scourges stayed still, and the Witches moved up the line as well. So that's it for Dark Eldar movement. Of course, there is no psychic phase, so straight to shooting. The Dark Eldar assault phase is complete, and they did a good job. Jake was kind enough to let me go ahead and have my succubus shoot her pistol, her blast pistol, before we start the assault phase. I forgot to shoot in the shooting phase, and she blasted the face off of the Primera Psyker. From there, she managed to kill 3 of the conscripts, and since we also killed the commissar during this charge phase, this fight phase, they failed morale and lost another 2. Over here, the 2 succubuses, the succubi, managed to take 2 wounds off of Nork. Nork did 1 wound back to one of the succubi. That would be Kitty over there. These 3 bikes charged into the commissar and managed to kill him. While these witches are battling it out with the platoon leader, they did 1 wound to the platoon leader. The platoon leader took out 1 witch. Jake's Chimera hit me twice. I made 1 invul save and 1 feel no pain save. I've been ace on that. Over here, these bikes just managed to tie up this Sentinel. No damage done either side. While the Hellions did manage to do 3 wounds, 1 of which went through to take Jake down to 1 health left because they do 2 damage each, while maintaining Guy over objective number 2, which I need to defend. So we'll see if we can hold on to that objective. So all in all, not a bad turn. I'll go show you my cards, and we'll move on to Astra Militarum, turn 3. Dark Eldar have scored Witch Hunter for 1 point, are halfway to defending objective 2, and have secured mission critical objective number 4, giving us a total of 4 points. On to Astra Militarum.
Imperial Guard turn 3. My new tactical objectives are secure objective 4, scour the skies, and assassinate. And I believe I might be able to get some of these this turn.
Secure objective 4 is stealable. That's the objective in the middle of the board, which I currently control. So hopefully I can continue to control it. On to the Astra Militarum, Imperial Guard, turn 3.
Alright, Imperial Guard turn 3 movement phase. As you can see, the conscripts were successfully able to disengage from her, costing a command point, but it worked. These guys disembarked from their Chimera before it moved forward. The Chimera moved forward. Veterans, they moved forward, assaulting for the Emperor. This Sentinel stayed still. This Sentinel right here disengaged. This squad here and this squad in the building shuffled around a little bit. Heavy guns staying put in each squad. And this Chimera disengaged. Two Commander tried to disengage, he didn't make it. And Nork, he's just having a lot of fun there, slapping bitches around. Excuse my language, dang it, now we have to start over again.
I think we're okay with that one.
Okay. And the...
And those girls are going to take him down in the end, so I'm not
Castrian guys scuffled around, and the Castrian guys over here scuffled around.
Alright. The Imperial Guard's best phase coming up next, the shooting phase.
Psyker phase.
After the Psyker phase.
Psyker phase, we failed to roll off Smite. With the shooting phase for turn 3 Imperial Guard. As you can see, veteran squad back here. Took one of these guys down. She is dead. Everything here shot at her. These guys flamed and lasered these guys, taking some of them out. few different elements from here. This squad, I believe I shot the missile launchers at them too.
Yeah.
Took out these bikes right here. Vindicare Assassin killed the last one. Mortars and the heavy bolter shot into them. I believe killing off a few of them with that.
Yep.
And the Astropath took out the last bike here with his Laz pistol. Good
Impressive display of firepower
for a mutant.
Yeah.
Yep. These guys advanced for their order. And by the way, an order was given to these guys, first rank fire, second rank fire, this squad right here, which also hosed into these bike squad right here. And the other order was reroll ones to hit for this squad right here. And then these guys were able to take out one of the bike Hellions from the back.
Yep.
And that's it for shooting phase into assault phase.
Yep. Onto assault. It was a rough turn and endure a lot of shooting, so we'll see if we can rebound.
Imperial Guard assault phase. As you can see, the Chimera charged into the Hellions. The veteran squad charged into the Scourge. And that was my only charges. And they took down the Scourge.
After the Scourge, for the second turn in a row, sniped out a guy trying to charge him.
Oh well.
Purity seal for that.
Over
guy.
here you can see Norton Ned Dog is taking a break. He's getting CPR. The platoon commander was murdered. He was just trying to have a good time, and they didn't want $100, I guess. I don't know. And then over here, this guy was able to slay one of these Hellions as well. And yeah.
That guy made 4 saves in return, so he's still alive with 1 wound. We did manage to take 4 wounds off the Chimera, in addition to killing Nork, Ned Dog. So mixed round. Unfortunately, not very much left on the board for Dark Eldar, but we're going to give it a try. Let's take a look at how we did on the objectives.
For my objectives, I scored this turn. I scored Scour the Skies for 1 point and Assassinate for 1 point for killing his Warlord and a Warlord point. So it's 3 victory points this turn.
For my part, at the end of Jake's turn, I have defended Objective 2 for 2 successive turns. That's Objective 2 over there, so that's 2 points for me. Also of note, I lost 7 Hellions here. I'm going to spend 2 command points so they auto-pass their morale test. On to Dark Eldar, turn 3. A pretty mediocre draw for the Dark Eldar. Secure Objective 3. Right now, Jake holds that with the veteran squad. Psychological warfare possible. In Big Game Hunter, those Chimeras are tough. So we'll have to see what we can do to keep this game close. Okay, a quick turn, so we're going to summarize it all at the end here. This squad of 5 Hellions disengaged from that Sentinel over there, jumped to here, shot in this veteran squad and killed 1 before assaulting that Chimera, trying to get Big Game Hunter. Unfortunately, the combined assault of both squads managed to do exactly 0 wounds to the Chimera. The 2 Succubi charged into 2 separate squads. This Succubus right here, which is Kitty, managed to do 1 wound to the guard squad of conscripts, and they failed the morale test when they rolled a 6, so they lost an additional 2 from there, so they're down to 1 left there. While Dolly over here managed to do 2 wounds with the help of the bike, but they passed their morale check. They did 1 wound in return. Matter of fact, Jake rolled really well on his Overwatch and managed to strip 2 wounds off in Overwatch with the Flamer. Mostly, it was all the Flamer. Lastly, the Switch Squad over here is kind of stuck with this combat against the big gun, and they managed to do 1 wound. The rules for the gun state that they can still be shot at, so that this is going to be a tough round for them. And the gun can still shoot, so we'll be back with the score real quick after this. Okay, so at the end of the Drukhari, turn 3, I stole Jake's Secure Objective 4 for 1 point. Got Psychological Warfare off the conscripts for 1 point. No Big Game Hunter, and Secure Objective 3 is controlled by Jake, so he's about to steal it off of me unless I can do some real damage in close combat as we move to turn 4.
So, drawing my types of diff cards for this turn. I drew priority orders received, which makes me draw an additional bonus. Tactical objective is objective 4. And then if my warlord is the only unit to control an objective marker, or destroys the last model of the enemy unit, and so on, I can score both the number of victory points stated in the bonus tactical objective and an additional 3 victory points. If this tactical objective card is discarded, so too is the bonus tactical objective.
Bring on the warlord.
I got secure objective 3, and I got Witch Hunter, but I believe you have no psychers.
Correct. You don't get the redraw from that in this house.
Okay.
All right, so just to review, objective 4 is the one in the middle. Objective 3 is the one that Jake's holding on to. He has a chance to score twice if he can survive with his veteran squad this turn.
So Psychic Phase, Smite, the Astropath takes 1 more wound off of her.
What about movement?
Oh yeah, movement, disengaged. Nobody else is able to disengage.
Which rolls?
This guy moved around. This guy moved around. These guys moved forward a little bit. Those guys stayed put. Those guys moved a tiny bit. That's pretty much movement right there as it is.
Yeah, your warlord didn't decide to come down and try to take objective 4.
I don't think it would happen.
I don't know why not.
And combat phase. Oh, for shooting phase.
Yep, pretty successful.
Knocked out these guys. Down to 1 there. There's only 3 for She Who Thirsts on the table right now.
Yeah.
I knocked out this squad right here.
Yeah, that was always shooting. And then in the combat phase, this succubus managed to kill the 1 guy who was remaining there. And then 2 wounds each from the succubus up there and the biker, and the veterans completely whiffed. No one left to hold objective 3 as we kind of killed him out of combat. So we'll review Jake's score. We'll probably play 1 last turn and then probably call it a night.
Nothing. No scores this turn.
And you've discarded?
Discarded the Witch Hunter.
Yes indeed. All right, on to Dark Eldar turn 4. Quick turn for Dark Eldar. That's what happens when you only have 4 models. My biker disengaged from combat and moved flat out over there, which they can't do actually because they disengaged from combat. So scratch that. I'm not going to score that objective because it's contested by the Sentinel. But over here, the 2 succubus combined powers in order to kill what was left of the veteran squad. So we do get my objective 3 and Jake's. We'll go over score real quick, but then I'm going to concede the game. Good game. 1 mil. Okay, so at the end of my turn 4, I just score secure objective 6, and I get Jake's secure objective 6. I ended up with 1, 2, 9 points.
You have Linebreaker too.
Yeah, but I won since I conceded. But I did earn 9 points in total. Jake, how many points did you earn?
6 for tactical objective cards. First Blood, Slay the Warlord, and Linebreaker.
Yeah, and
brings you to 9, right? Yeah.
Looking around the board, obviously Jake in a much stronger position. The vehicles once again
Record cards, no prisoners.
Yeah.
I think I would have killed some folks in here and some folks in here.
I just wouldn't have had anybody left. I agree. So we're gonna call it. Jake, good game as always,
Awesome
sir.
game.
And hope you enjoyed the battle report. If you did, go ahead and subscribe and give us a like. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, so that's another War Corgi YouTube battle report. My Dark Eldar versus your Astra Militarum, Imperial Guard. What are your thoughts?
What can I say again? I just rolled a 6.
Seizing the initiative.
I think we have to go one of these games where I just refuse to steal the initiative and let Michael go first.
Well, it would be nice. From my perspective, there's 2 critical points in the game. The first is when you stole the initiative.
Yep.
Obviously, took a pretty good chunk out of my army, taking out 1 raider. I only have 4 Dark Lances, and with you running a total of 6 vehicles, that really backfooted me quite a bit. And then the second thing that I thought really turned the tide in your advantage was when I failed to keep your squad of conscripts in combat, because that really opened up my front line of troops. I lost 2 witch squads, a raider, and some bikes all there. If I could just, I spent a command point to try to re-roll it. I had to roll a 3 and I failed, and that really just opened up my army.
Yeah, and hey, I forgot to mention it, guys, but I used all but one of my command points this entire game. I mean, having those 12 command points is a pretty good deal. And I mean, Imperial Guard, even with the minimal vehicles I played, I mean, the heavy weapon squads do a lot of damage. And those veterans, with all the firepower veterans can carry with flamers and heavy flamers, melta guns and plasma guns, using the chimeras to advance on objectives, and just 8 inches for a heavy flamer off a vehicle that moved, so it automatically gets to hit no matter what, doesn't get a minus to anything. You're really torching your scourges in the back line and popping that squad out to shoot them as well. And then just the Tempestus Scions. I mean, once you dropped your guys in, I was able to harass you with those squads all the way to the end as well.
Yeah, I think one of the big lessons I learned this game was I got to protect those scourges a little bit better, because half of my anti-tank firepower, if not more, is tied up in those 2-unit scourges. So, holding back a unit of Hellions and maybe putting both those scourge squads in the same spot with a decent deterrent to make sure the Tempestus, which are so good this edition, don't come in there and just wipe them out.
And with the tactical objectives, I mean, with the deep strike capability that those units provide, sometimes you might have to split them up. I mean, who has to go first with this game? With the Maelstrom mission and have to go for objectives, you gotta start getting points. If you don't start getting points, and you could decimate a guy down to 2 models left, but he has more points than you, he can win the game. So think about that as well.
Yeah. I'm still learning the Dark Eldar. Obviously, this is about my 3rd or 4th game with them. So I am committed to running the Witch Cult. Obviously, the 2-unit scourges aren't Witch Cult units. I'm going to be running those as a separate detachment once my codex comes out. But you must be excited. Your codex is about to drop.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at the guy that has a Space Marine army that has no Land Raiders, didn't even paint his Primaris guys from the new edition, and still hasn't even bought the Space Marine Codex.
Just having fun with the Guard, right?
Having fun with the Guard. I think the next game, though, we play, I'll bring out the Crimson Fists and see how they do, and get those models on the field. Another thing is Nort Ned Dog.
Yeah.
I mean, Nort Dead Dog.
Yeah.
Again, I mispronounced his name. I mean, that's a pretty cool character. I've had that model forever. I think these last 2 games are the only times I've ever played him.
He seems a bit of a misogynist, so I'm glad he got what he had coming to him when my succubi took him down.
He's just taking a break, took a couple punches,
catching his breath,
got tossed out of the bar.
All right, so I think that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the game.
Oh yeah, always. It's always fun. It's a great time enjoying having games with your friends. Michael probably helps me out more than I help him out with stuff. My brain doesn't work as good as it used to, and so just have a lot of fun.
Well,
it's good to go.
Back when I played in a league in Savannah, Georgia, I actually won what was the Best Sportsmanship Award. And when I got it, the guy who ran the league mentioned that if you didn't know how to beat me, that was okay, because I'd let you know during the game just how to beat me. Obviously, I don't do that when I'm playing serious games. Not that these games aren't serious, but these are friendly games, and we have a lot of fun, and it's about learning and getting better at the game together. So all the people you see on the channel, and it looks like we got some more people coming on the channel soon. That's the attitude that we play with, and that's what we'll continue to play with and continue to become better players.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so hopefully you enjoyed the battle report, and if you did, make sure you subscribe and like us so that more people can come out and see us. And we will see you soon with another battle report.